Shalom, everyone, from the Tabernacle of David Prophetic Dance Center in Jerusalem. I wanted to talk to you today about integrity. There's so much that goes on in the church that is not acceptable, and hopefully you're in a good church. But I think that many of us have been stifled in our personhood in our church community. First of all, we should not be putting up with any kind of abusive behavior to ourselves or to one another. We should be respectful of these one-of-a-kind human beings that God has put us steward of. And a lot of times we don't say anything when we should. God calls us to integrity. And I believe it says in the Proverbs, it may even be today's proverb, Proverbs 10, the one who walks purely walks securely. And we're called to a life of integrity. And, getting healed and making right choices, which makes us a healthier human being, can be a lifetime process if we didn't grow up with boundaries and things like that were necessary for healthy living. But when we get older, we're now responsible for our own choices. We're not a victim, we're a grown adult, and we need to come into healthiness, body, mind, soul, and spirit. Please be sure that you are in a community that supports your emotional health, and not a church where the message is check your brain and your heart at the door and we're all spirit here, because that is really twisted and really unhealthy. God made us human on purpose. We're not accidentally human. So God expects us to be a great steward of this wonderful heart, which I like to call God's garden. Let's walk in integrity today. I also want to say that I know life is about navigating. Relationships are about navigating. But if we're in relationships, especially like long-time relationships, and we feel like we're walking on eggshells because we're trying to avoid all of these landmines, something is wrong. If you have any kind of fear in your friendship, it's not good. And you need to address it. If the relationship is significant for your life, you need to address it, and you need to stand up against all intimidation and fear. Absolutely, because that is not of God. When anyone puts out those kind of things, if they're putting out intimidation or fear, manipulation or dominance, any of those things, that is not from the Lord. And you must stand up to it, and you must expose it and call it out on the carpet if the relationship is important to you. Absolutely, God calls us to integrity. Come out of agreement with the spirit of fear and intimidation today. In Yeshua's name, remember, we live for the approval of the approval of God, and not for the approval of man. God bless you from the city of the great King, Yerushalayim.